What up, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the ACC show. Buckle up. Buckle up and hit that thumbs up.
I don't feel well. Jesus. Life shouldn't be that stressful. If this is my show 2 weeks in, by week 10, I'm going to be doing the show from a casket.
Yeah, Raj, what's your point? Clemson didn't lose to an SEC team. Sir, they lost to an ACC team. AC speed, too much to handle for the SEC, man. ACC just clearly better this year. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's a good thing that Clemson played against an ACC team. Otherwise, they might be 1-0 right now.
lot of taters in this motherfucker. It's a whole lot of taters in this motherfucker. A lot of teams, they think they be great, but we break the mold. And you know that we gon' see hate, cause we 8-0. And I'm coming to ideate and create a vote. And I'm about to do a remake when we take the gold from the leprechaun look. Don't listen to them talking heads, their narrative's weak. To me, get on the TV and they yammer on so frequently. Oh yeah, they're talented, but playing in the ACC pay millions, but they're analyzing it so lazily. We got the keys in the ignition, and my man DJ the ukulele on a mission. Read the defenses, and he plan to make decisions, and he scan and make incisions with mechanical precision. Listen. So cry about the refs like the Buckeye fan base, cause whiny fan takes is something Tatum man hates. Stacking wins like Hungry Jack with pancakes. Oh, you think you can take us pull up on that handbreakers? We some taters in this motherfucker. And there's a whole lot of haters in this motherfucker. Yeah, look, let's talk about them chickens. You know the only thing they're good for is finger licking. Thinking about the best seasons, it's really slim pickings. Best team in SC, it's them Busham County Pickens. Look, a Tatum and they really do not know how good it is to beat them down. No, it does not require wizardry. And yes, I truly feel delighted in the misery. Turn on this TV and I see them lose to misery at home. Yo, and you can take your cues from Paul, yeah, it's fine, bomb. And you can roll with your balls or your tie, dog. But one thing can't be denied, we gon' ride with the kids, with the lids, with the paws on the side, dog. The boys in orange got the crowd going bad shit. And we can move it on the ground and we can pass it. And we gon' put them leprechauns into a casket up in this motherfucker.
Casket! I don't feel well. I don't feel well.
Taters in this motherfucker. Yeah. Now go ahead and put them kids to sleep, cuz you know my tiger claw digs in deep, cuz throwing bows to the nose, ripping clothes on the show here with my tater man, PigskinPeete, and we some taters in this motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah. And there's a whole lot of haters in this motherfucker. Yeah.
Yo, what is up, everybody? Welcome to the ACC show. I am your host, PigskinPeete, along with my friend, colleague, and co-host, and fellow ACC fan, C-Dog. What's up, C-Dog?
What up, Pete?
It's a whole lot of taters in this motherfucker. I don't know if
I forgot how good that rap was.
that thing is a gem. I only break it out for special occasions, like an embarrassing loss to Duke.
I feel you, man.
I know you feel my pain. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining us tonight. Well, yeah, not quite the same. No, it wasn't quite the same. But thanks everybody for joining us tonight. We have a great show planned for you. Of course, we're going to talk about what happened and transpired over the past few days in the ACC, and then we'll look ahead to hopefully greener pastures for most of these teams in week 2. But make sure you hit the like if you're new here. Make sure you subscribe. We do this every single week, year-round. That's right. We don't just show up like some of you jamokes when football season starts. We actually do this thing year-round, and we have a lot of fun over here. Let's see who's in the chat, and then we'll get right down to brass tacks, as they say. Who we got in here? We got Alakazam is here. Matt Dummett. Luke, Victorious Luke. Ultra Magadog says ACC is poverty. Well, what does that make the SEC then? They got a losing record to them so far. Hopefully you guys can turn it around. Not looking too good in the SEC right now. Looks like Georgia's the only team that's any good over there. Robert, Chan the Tiger, Seth, JW13120, JW1230. He says, go Navy. The Uncle Lou, John Doman, Dr. Bark, Third and Nate, Vandy Dandy. Vanderbilt is going to win at Wake Forest Saturday. ACC is a joke. Yeah, we'll see about that.
Dude, there's nobody more delusional than that guy.
Who, Vandy Dandy?
Yes, dude. And he keeps begging me to take his money every year.
Well, take his money then.
I mean, I've got you know how many bets I've got out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I forgot you got put on lockdown.
I mean, Vandy is literally like it's like, I don't even want to bring this up because it's just such low hanging fruit, but Vandy is literally like the team that you reference when you're like making a joke about a shitty team. You know what I mean? Like they are the absolute laughing stock of college football.
That is true. They're like a punchline.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's like, oh, well, yeah, everyone's like, oh, what are you, Vandy?
Yeah, and it's like somehow they continue to lower the bar, like with that entire scoreboard fiasco. They just continue to lower the bar. It's wild. So.
Oh, you mean the crane? You mean the crane that was holding up the scoreboard? Yeah.
Yes, dude.
Yeah.
Yes.
Stubbed my pinky toe 89. VicTube, Wahoo Brad. Slim Shady Canes is in the house. D Taylor. CJ. The Nature Boy. Wet Blanket. Raj. Pete talked about the SEC going 1-3. That hasn't changed, sir. You know what one of the funniest things was? A lot of funny things happened. I believe me, I'll be talking about it the next couple of days. With the video I posted today, the chat section, or the comment section rather, in that video is top tier entertainment. I might have to go through and respond to some of those on the midday show tomorrow. But anyway, I posted a short after Florida State beat the absolute bejesus out of LSU. And the only thing I said in short, it was like 2 sentences. I said, it looks like the ACC speed is just too much for the SEC to handle, right? People actually came on that short after Clemson loses to Duke and going, what about that ACC speed, Pete? hey, idiots. Duke is in the ACC, you dumb fucks. I mean, what? I mean...
They're awfully defensive.
Oh, man.
They're awfully defensive.
Dalton from T-Town. Don Darty. Cody Hankins. Twisted Rooster, what's up, Pete, my man? I'm still in the injury tent after getting Duke's mayo in the eye. Did you pour Duke's mayo on your head? I thought you only did that after a win. Didn't they pour Duke's mayo on Shane Beamer's head after the Duke's Mayo Bowl win a couple of years ago?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to do that after a loss. Knifey Buckeye. UNC Duke trolling football skills. Blake Wright. The Rock Rubbers better get ready for Charleston Southern. You know, as sad as that sounds, there's I posted on Twitter that they need to get ready for Week 4. Right, there's a lot that needs to be done. I mean, they're way behind Florida State clearly at this point, so they need to fix a lot if they want to compete against Florida State Week 4. But just people are going, well, you better get ready for Charleston Southern, and I'm not even talking about troll fans from other fan bases saying that. Clemson fans were saying that.
Jeez.
I'm like, man.
It's not that bad.
I mean, Peanut. Look at Peanut here. Peanut's in the house. Ballin' with AC. Ram Dog. Jay Shipes. Canes Football Talk. Billy Cole. Harlan Harris. Let the Big Dog Eat. Dwayne Wicker. Jeremy Garrettson. Mr. Brown. Colby. Captain Trips. Fireball. Bro. Harlan Harris. Somebody called Wad. Tennille. Senor Dog. Andy Hall. Rick Sanchez. If I missed you, it wasn't on purpose. Believe me, I'm just not very smart. So anyway, I guess we'll start out with me and you, talk about our respective teams. and their disappointing losses, and then we'll bring the panel on. And we'll hear from the Peanut Gallery, and we'll get into next week. But let's start with you. Your game was on. It was on Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Friday against Louisville. I think the ACC panel as a whole actually picked Georgia Tech to win that game. They were winning that game for the majority of the game, weren't they?
Yeah. Up until around the end of the third quarter.
So tell us what happened, man.
Well, I mean, I was on top of the world there for about a half. We came out slow a little bit, kind of expected. New offensive coordinator and staff and players, a lot of new offensive players. So defense was playing pretty good in the first half. We had kind of like a fluky interception sort of thing where Haynes King threw it and it got batted down at the line of scrimmage on the first drive. But defense was able to hold them to 3, which was cool, and then held them to 3 throughout the first quarter. I know they had 16 points going in at halftime, so maybe they did score. I think they got up. They had a touchdown or two in the first quarter. But once we got rolling, dude, it was like we were unstoppable, and the offense was just on fire and just rolling down the field, and we were breaking off. It didn't matter if we were running or throwing or what, and we were breaking off huge runs. Offensive line was blocking and just opening up wide ass open holes for our guys to run through. And our receivers were, we were making like 50-yard throws, breaking off these huge freaking plays. And a lot of our new guys were shining and kind of showcase what they can do when the offense is really clicking. And we went into halftime soaring at 28-13, and
that's about when I tuned in. I didn't see the first half at all. I was getting ready for the my call-in show. Yeah, and so I started the show. I think I turned it on while I was getting ready for the show. Maybe about halfway through the third quarter.
Yeah,
that's when I started watching. Yeah.
Yeah, we just looked great, and it was like, and the defense was just, they were playing great. Even at our best, though, our defensive line we still had no sacks or tackles for loss, which is concerning. But we came into halftime and literally, like, the player said it. He was just like, we thought we had them. We thought we had them beat, and I think it was an attitude with the players and the coaches, because we came out of halftime completely flat. We let them come back, and by the time, we just couldn't get it going again the way we had it before. And momentum, Louisville had all the momentum, and our defense was getting tired, and we let them come back, and it was heartbreaking. And it was kind of close at the end. It was like a 5-point. We were behind. We were down 5 and had the ball very close, to scoring. We were in the red zone, and Haynes King, who was freaking on fire all night, by the way, he was looking for somebody. He was looking for somebody to throw to, and just gets absolutely obliterated from behind and fumbles. Wasn't his fault. It was a total blindside kind of thing. I guess you could say he was completely unaware of it, but he trusted his guys to block for him, and we did have some players go down. Our best lineman went down, which sucks, but I think he's back. I think he's better back now.
What, your best offensive lineman or your offensive
our best
lineman?
Offensive lineman had gone down pretty early in the game. Which was rough. And then we had several people go down on the defense. Although from what I heard from Brent Key's presser today, they're all back out there today, and we have an FCS team next week, so we should be okay as far as that goes. But yeah, that fumble really sealed it. Louisville got the ball back and scored again, and then we and then we lost. So it was we did get the ball back with like 3 minutes to go or something, and they played prevent defense, which actually prevents you from winning. And of course, we in 4 plays we had a touchdown. Funny how that prevent defense never works.
Yeah, I don't know why they do that.
I don't know.
Everybody does it too. That's not a Georgia Tech thing.
And I know. And, well, it was Louisville doing it.
Yeah,
it was Louisville. And it's like, and I was watching, and I'm like, why are they doing this? And it never fails. They play prevent, and then if you ever bring up and try to like question like play calling or anything like that, they'll tell you, oh, you couldn't possibly know. They have stats and play sheets, and they have advanced statistics that back up what they're doing, but surely those statistics say that, whenever you play like that, I mean, you give up a ton of yards. I don't know. It just blows my mind. Every time I see it, it just doesn't work. But, I mean, whatever. It allowed us to come back and we scored a touchdown, but came down to where we would have to get an onside kick, and we missed that. One. So completely brutal and heartbreaking. So
I know you have a bet with me and several others about Georgia Tech, making a bowl game or not. And in my opinion, that was an important game for that to happen. I know you disagree. You still feel like that Georgia Tech is would you pick them to win 8 games, I think?
Yeah, that's looking a little not so much. I still think we can get 6 or 7 though.
Yeah.
We're not losing. I mean, look, I know everybody think, oh, ha, we choked and everything, but I watched Brent Key do this last year. I mean, he fixes this shit. This is not. I mean, this is not something that I anticipate to be a problem. I mean, hopefully, we won't know until the situation arises again, which it will. We're gonna be up on some teams. I mean, namely like Boston College and Virginia. I mean, not that they're particularly good, but I hope that this team is traumatized and is going to play like they're down 14 at all times.
I don't know if traumatized is the right word to be using.
I hope they're traumatized. I hope that they get up by 3 touchdowns and they're like, they're going to come back. I hope they're like, keep scoring. They're gonna come back on us, Wow. And we'll be like, I hope that Brent Key turns into Nick Saban, just absolutely freaking out on his players when they're up 40 points.
Yeah,
that's what I hope to see in the future.
Well,
I hope to see that this week.
This is really Brent Key's first season as head coach. So look, I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. Georgia Tech put up a bigger fight than I thought they were going to against Louisville. I did pick Georgia Tech to win the game, but at least they hung in there. It wasn't like they got completely wiped off the map like Clemson did.
Most people picked us to lose and not cover.
All right, that's part of the point. Yeah.
So a lot of people who have been listening to me scream from the mountaintops on YouTube kind of listen to me and picked us to at least cover. But on Twitter, you go on Twitter a lot and you look at like the national like media types, and they all pick Louisville to win in blowout fashion. And I just knew that wasn't going to happen. And for a quarter there, that was the team that I've been saying that we could have. And that, if we can somehow get that semi-consistently or get that for 2 or 3 quarters a game, then we're going to be a really good team. So I'm feeling good still about kind of where, I mean, obviously it's a heartbreaking fashion, but I think Brent Key, I think, all the players and coaches will probably learn from that experience and. I'm interested to see, again, I think they played better than I thought they were going to. I'm interested to see what they take from that and how they move that into the remainder of the season. Yeah, because we have an FCS team next week, and then we have Ole Miss. So
right, yeah. You're going to that game, aren't you? You're going to the Ole Miss game?
I'm gonna try. We'll see. I may or may not. You know.
All right.
You just never know. So.
All right. Well. Anyway, moving on to Clemson. My thoughts are already known on this. I posted a long form video on this today, but I'll rehash it here. Look, there's no two ways about it, right? That was an embarrassing loss. The way they lost was embarrassing. The score was embarrassing. A lot of parts of that game were embarrassing. I just saw somebody in the chat type in there, Pete, you took the loss well. Well, the reason I took the loss well is because I actually watched the game and just didn't just look at the final score. And there's a lot of things that happened in that game.
I'm gonna be honest. I was kind of hoping that I would get to see freak out.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry to disappoint everybody that I didn't freak. First of all, I'm not Carolina Jackpot. I'm not gonna come on the air and get shit faced and yell and throw and break shit every time.
That's not. You broke your headphones last year.
I did break my headphones last year, but that was I barely slammed the headphones down. That nothing compares to what Jackpot does on a daily basis, or a weekly basis rather, during the college football season.
I suppose.
But
so.
I mean, look, man, I read the stats out today. I mean, Clemson outgained them. They had way more offensive plays than they did. They had 11 more first downs than Duke. They dominated the time of possession. All of those. If you didn't see the final score and you looked at the statistic sheet, Clemson dominated every statistic except for the turnovers, and that was really the difference in the game. I do give credit to Duke. I said it last night. I said it today, and I'll say it again now. Duke was a better team, a better coach team, and had the better quarterback on the field, and a better defense too. So this isn't a woe, pitiful me, Clemson just made too many mistakes statement. Duke won the game, and they should have won the game. They were the better team. But if you get down on the 1 yard line twice, not once, but twice, with a 1st and goal situation from inside the 5 yard line and walk away with 0 points, there's very few teams in the country that you're going to beat. And Duke is pretty good, right? They're not, I'm not saying they're a top 10, top 15 team. I don't know where they'll finish at the end of the year. But when you have a team that's playing with their hair on fire at home on week 1, and you go out there and make those kind of mistakes, there's very few teams in the country that are going to win that game if you're Clemson. And there's a lot of concerns. Clemson should be concerned. And Clemson fans should be concerned about the wide receiver core. That's an obvious, glaring issue right now. Clemson should be concerned about their pass protection with the offensive line. There probably should be some concerns as far as their secondary is concerned. But those are all the same sort of issues that we've been seeing over the past couple of years, right? Here's what I don't understand about this, or not about the game in itself. The criticism of the game. As soon as you go on the internet after a loss like that, you start seeing people going, "Oh, Dabo can't change with the times, the transfer portal, NIL." Sorry, I got interrupted there. The transfer portal, NIL. First of all, Clemson has NIL. They've got 2 NIL collectives. They were the first team in the country to have 2 NIL collectives. They have no problem getting NIL for their players. So I have no idea what the NIL thing is about. And as far as the transfer portal is concerned, the transfer portal doesn't stop you from fumbling the ball twice on the 1 yard line. Okay? Do I think that Dabo should utilize the transfer portal when he's able to fill in some gaps at wide receiver or offensive line or cornerback or whatever? Absolutely, I do. I've been saying that for years. That had nothing to do with last night's game. Absolutely nothing. So, while last night was extremely disappointing, I'm not ready to throw the towel in on either the season or definitely not Cade Klubnik or Garrett Riley. All right, I mean, the stats for Cade Klubnik weren't even that bad if you just look at the stat sheet. And he had 62.8% completion percentage, 200 yards. throwing, and I don't know, another 50 yards rushing or something like that. I mean, the guy looked like a deer in headlights. Didn't look like he knew what he was doing. Looked unprepared. All of those things are disturbing and should cause some concern for anybody watching. But let's not pretend like this is some seasoned veteran quarterback, okay? I mean, goddamn, you ready to throw this guy out after one start against Tennessee and one start against Duke at the start of the season? Now, you guys are out of your fucking minds. You're out of your minds. And no, I'm not a sunshine pumper. And for anybody who's been watching me for the past 6 years, I mean, the reason that half of the Clemson fan base that watches me turns me off immediately is because I don't sunshine pump. There's a difference between sunshine pumping and just ready to fire everybody. Some of these fucking idiots are talking about Dabo Swinney needs to move on. They need to move on from him. Man, you guys are retarded. You're fucking retarded. And somebody even typed to me today, I think it was a Georgia fan, comparing Dabo Swinney to Mark Richt. Yeah, nobody wanted Mark Richt to go either because he was loved. Mark Richt didn't come close to sniffing a national championship, let alone two, you dumb fucks. Clemson wouldn't be anything that they are right now if Dabo Swinney didn't build that program. He did not forget how to coach football. Is there some things that he needs to look in the mirror and see? Yeah, but comparing Dabo Swinney to Mark Richt might be the dumbest thing I've ever read on the internet. Week 1 reactions are way, way out of bounds. Florida State right now should be the preemptive favorite to win the conference. I don't know if you heard it somewhere here before. During the offseason, somebody picked Florida State to beat Clemson on week 4 before the season even started. So the fact that Florida State is good is no shocker to me, and the fact that Florida State will be favored going into Death Valley week 4 is no surprise to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, having said all that, they've got to fix some things. But there's also a lot of things that I was happy with, but mostly just not good. I mean, a blocked field goal, a missed field goal from 28 yards, the turnovers. I mean, all those things. Even when Clemson was trying to come back at the very end of the game, that slide by Cade Klubnik with the targeting call and all that, which was the right call, by the way. I'm not disputing that. Just all those things. I mean, you can't win a football game when things go that way for you. You can't. And by the way, I don't know why nobody's giving credit to Duke at all. It's just all about how terrible Clemson is. No, I haven't seen a single person on the internet over the past almost 24 hours talk about how much of a baller Riley Leonard, the quarterback for Duke, was in that game. Nobody. It's just about how much Dabo sucks and Riley sucks and Klubnik sucks and Clemson's falling off and it's over for them. Over for Clemson. This ain't the first time I've been hearing this, by the way. Over for Clemson is the ceiling for 90% of the football teams in the country. Over for Clemson is winning 10 and 11 games in a season, right? And most of the people that type that shit, their team is lucky to win fucking 8 games a year. So y'all are ready to give up? I'm not. I still think this is a good coaching staff for the most part. I mean, there is definitely some position coaches that I'm not too fond of, particularly the offensive lines coach and the wide receiver coach. But outside of that, this is a coaching staff full of really good coaches and a very good head coach and a bunch of talented players. That's the other thing, too. 247 Sports has Clemson's ranking as far as talent at 5th in the country overall. The highest blue chip rating that Dabo's ever had at Clemson for an entire team, ever. So I don't think
I cannot tell.
I know. So listen, I get it. That is it, but the idea that talent is the issue at Clemson is just false. It's obviously a coaching issue and an offensive philosophy issue. But a lot of those mistakes that were made last night can be fixed. Those are on coaching. And we'll see if they can. I'm not claiming that they are going to fix those things. I'm just saying, after one football game against a pretty good Duke team on week 1, I'm not ready to throw the towel in on the season, and definitely not ready to throw the towel in on the head coach or the quarterback. Not yet. Now, look, if things continue to go the way that they went last night throughout the season, I'll change my tune real quick. I'm just not ready to throw it in yet. You know what I mean? So there you go. What were your thoughts on the game? Did you watch the whole game?
Yeah, up until it was basically over.
Well, when was that?
Well, I guess you could say that was earlier than. I guess you could say it was probably at some point in the third or fourth quarter, but I watched until like a few minutes ago.
Again, with the portal thing. Coach the portal. I even saw Uncle Lou's Your Season Is Over video earlier today, and he goes, yeah, I keep hearing Clemson fans talk about how there was no scholarships available for the portal, which is true. He goes, well, that's a roster management problem. He goes, you need to run some of those other guys off. So his solution to the problem is guys that you recruited and signed and gave scholarships to, let's run them off so that we can sign somebody from a different team. Anybody who thinks that's a solution to a problem for a program, I can't even believe somebody that I consider to be at least somewhat knowledgeable about college football like Uncle Lou would say something like that.
Well,
There's literally there is literally nobody. Let's paint a picture here real quick. Dabo Swinney's he's at 86 scholarships when the portal's open. There's only 85 scholarships available. He's got to get rid of one somehow, right? Which they did by taking one of the players who was on scholarship for football, who also played baseball. They took him off a scholarship on football and gave him a baseball scholarship. That got him down to 85. So he didn't lose a scholarship. He still plays on the football team. He still plays on the baseball team. Imagine if Dabo Swinney did like Deion Sanders did and ran off players that he promised a scholarship to. What would the narrative be the next day, C-Dog? Oh, Dabo Swinney doesn't give a shit about his players. All he cares about is winning. He's running off players to bring in transfers. There's not a single healthy football program in the country that runs off players that you recruit and give scholarships to bring in a transfer. None. Kirby Smart wouldn't do that. Would he? Would Kirby Smart do that?
Kirby Smart would
Hell
do
no.
anything and take any shortcut possible.
Well, maybe Kirby Smart would do it. I don't know. Has he done it, though? I guarantee you he hasn't ran off players in order to sign a transfer.
He's done every underhanded thing he could possibly think.
No, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't think he's done that.
Oh, I do.
I don't think he's done that.
I know it.
So,
by the way, another arrest. This time it was a staffer on Georgia's staff that got arrested for reckless driving. So they're having a great time celebrating over there.
I don't care about that. All right, we've wasted now 45 minutes of time. Not wasted, but you know what the deal is. All right, let's bring on the panel here. Let's see who's in here.
I think that you might deserve. I think Duke might deserve an apology from you.
Why would I apologize to Duke?
Because you spent all off season telling them that they
were going to lose. I spent the entire off season saying that the number 9 team in the country was going to beat an unranked team. I should apologize for that.
You had them as your most overrated team. And all that on the superlative show. And you talked about how everybody thinks that they're so good.
Well, first of all, you should know me well enough to know by now that I don't apologize for any prediction in football. No, I'm not apologizing for it.
Well.
Welcome to the ACC show, gentlemen.
It's a good thing we got a couple winners on here.
Look at Luke.
Go away.
Well, I would ask how you're doing, but I guess I can tell.
B. Bean says, you dragged Uncle Lou through the dump for picking Duke. Listen, I could go over thousands and thousands of shit fucking takes that Uncle Lou's had on his prediction videos too. Should he apologize for those? No.
Hey, look, C-Raw
look.
was right. I was just as wrong as Pete. I was saying how I thought the Garrett Riley hire was going to be going to take them back to national championship contender level, but clearly not the case.
So you made your mind up after week 1. No good.
Well, not this year, at least.
Garrett Riley, no good, right? He forgot how to coach offense, in the past 7 months, right? He just completely forgot. I mean, he went up a spaceship and the fucking aliens erased his mind.
Riley's offense?
Huh?
I mean,
Did that look like Garrett Riley's offense to you?
The same argument was made for Josh Gaddis. He looked bad right off the bat, so he's shit. Get rid of him.
1 game. No good. Fire him.
I'm not selling on Garrett Riley or that hire. I'm just saying definitely not this year.
Boy, it's a good thing they don't hire fans to coach nothing. They quit after the first fucking quarter. They're so fucking soft.
Hell, I'm constantly on here talking about how people shouldn't be fired.
I know. I'm with you on that. I back you up on that.
I mean, that's as silly as the whole. I mean, if Florida's in the same boat, what is with this trend of people are on the hot seat or need to be fired even year 2? I mean, maybe I'm old. I don't know. Not that old.
All right, Lou. We'll see how Lou. We'll see how your playoff predictions pan out too, buddy. Yeah. Instead of after just week 1, we'll see what it is at the end of the year. Then you can come on and apologize for making a shitty take on probably at least 2 of those teams you picked to make the playoffs.
I'm still not backing off my pick of Clemson making the playoffs. I'm not convinced of anything after week 1.
Well, people have been asking me like, "Oh, do you think we can beat Clemson this year?" And I'm like, "Well, they do tend to be a lot better towards the end of the year than at the beginning." But I don't know about I don't think they're getting to the playoffs.
I had a question.
Or winning the ACC for that matter.
You pulled up the talent composite rankings. Where's Florida State at on that list?
They're 4th in the ACC. I looked recently.
4th in the ACC.
Yeah, it's Clemson, Miami, North Carolina, Florida State.
Oh, so Clemson's 5th, but Clemson's 5th in the country, not the ACC.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. I heard earlier today Texas A&M should beat Miami because they're more talented. So Miami should beat Florida State because they're more talented than them.
Florida State's 20th in the country.
Yeah, because everybody knows that the more talented team wins every single game, every single year. That makes sense.
That's what I hear a lot.
Some of these people act like that they've never seen a ranked team lose to an unranked team before. It happens every single fucking week. It happens to almost every single team every single year, too.
I mean, was TCU more talented than half the teams they played?
Yes. No. No, they weren't.
I'm probably certain they weren't more talented than Michigan.
No, of course they weren't. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close. But anyway, Miami got a big win over Miami North.
We did. We finally determined, and I shouted it out the window of my truck as I drove through Oxford, Ohio today.
Oh, you drove through Ohio today?
Well, I just got out of Columbus.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was yelling at them too.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Such is life. But we did. I mean, I don't take a whole lot away from beating up on Miami, Ohio, outside of, basic fundamentals of football that they had problems with last year that I didn't see problems with this year. Basic tackling, catching the ball. Jesus Christ, that's what an offensive line is supposed to look like. Hallelujah. They gave up 1 sack, and it was in the 4th quarter when the third stringers were in. I haven't seen Miami give up 1 sack in a game, and Jesus.
Yeah, TriStar's in the chat with his normal dumb shit. Dabo needs to get with the times. Tell me what NIL or transfer portal would have stopped, 2 missed field goals and 2 turnovers on the 1 yard line.
Now I have a question. Did I? Because I was actually listening to the commentators. They kept saying that second field goal was blocked and not missed.
Well, I don't know. It looked like he shanked it to me. I don't know if it got tipped or not. I was probably too busy being irate that I missed the replay of it. But either way, look, if you get, it's one thing if the defense makes a great play and blocks 1 field goal. If you get 2 blocked field goals back to back, probably the kicker is kicking the ball too low, so that's on the kicker.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing, like I've heard you talk about it, I've heard Lou talk about it. Like they were talking, obviously the commentators were talking about it. They were saying that targeting should have been considered during the play and not a dead ball foul. But yet I've heard other people say.
Yeah, no. So here's the thing.
It's very confusing, but I think it was the correct call.
It was the correct call. They asked Dabo about that in the post game presser, and he said it was absolutely the right call. Once the quarterback commits to sliding, the play's over. So the targeting is after the play that's enforced on the next down, which would be Duke's ball at that point.
Well, I mean,
I feel like they should probably change that rule.
I'm just as confused listening to, multiple different takes on it.
Yeah, you know what, though? I'm going to be honest, man. I don't think that wasn't the difference in the game. Clemson was about to lose anyway. I mean,
it wasn't a difference, but it's part of the targeting rule that I really can't stand because I heard you and Luke both made this point that once a guy commits to a tackle, he can't stop.
Yeah, look,
it's really wrong.
The rule is complete trash. And not only is the rule trash, the way that it's enforced from week to week, from referee staff to referee staff, is completely inconsistent. It's the most inconsistent call called in football, maybe other than holding.
That's because you could call targeting on every single tackle based on the way they wrote the rule.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and you can call, and I remember it may have been you I was talking to this about when you went live Friday. It was at one of the games they called a holding call that was nowhere near the play. And I'm like, you can literally call holding on every play of football. If it's nowhere near the play and doesn't affect it, they don't need to call it.
Depends on how egregious the holding is.
Yeah, I mean, but look, let's just keep adding more rules. Before you know it, it'll be a touch football. But look, I agree it was the right call that happened last night based on the rule. So I have no complaints there. I don't
should change the way.
I don't like the rule I don't like the rule to begin with, the way that it's structured and the way that it's enforced. But under the letter of the law, that was definitely the right call.
Right. Okay.
They should change the way the dead ball targeting is enforced, though, because if on a 4th down, a quarterback slides short, what's to stop a guy from just absolutely lighting a quarterback up?
Yeah. Sea-Dog, you alive, buddy? You there?
Yeah, I'm here, and I was wondering the same thing as Luke just said. I was like, well, and whenever they got the ball, they didn't even, it was 1st and 10. It wasn't like 1st and 25 or anything.
Yeah, just move the spot back 15 yards.
Yeah.
1st and 10.
So why not just take his head off? I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, I mean,
that's a good point.
Saw it from the reaction of the Duke player. He was sitting there clapping and celebrating.
Well, that brings in the question. So here's the conundrum with that rule and the way that it's written. If you really want to protect the players, let's say if you're a Duke defender, and I'm not saying the Duke defender was thinking this, but let's say in this situation he was thinking this, knowing that rule there. Once the quarterback starts to slide and he's short of the 1st down marker, what's stopping you from taking his head off?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They should probably change that.
Is it really about player safety? I mean, that's the whole reason that the rule was written, right? Was player safety. So is it really about player safety or is it not? I'm saying it's not. It's about the facade of player safety. That's what it's about.
Well, that's been my argument since the very beginning.
Yeah. Anyway, real quick, I don't want to miss these super chats. A couple of the super chats. Vandy Dandy. Pete, I'll bet you $50 Vanderbilt has more wins than Clemson at the end of September. If they have the same amount of wins, it's a push. I'd have to look at Vanderbilt's schedule, and I have way too many bets out to even keep up with it at this point. Harlan Harris, thank you for the super chat. He's a Florida State fan. Was really hoping for Florida State Clemson game day. I like our bet a little bit more now. See, another person I have a bet with. So, yeah.
Well, I still don't think that's out of the realm of possibility at the end of game day game. It's going to be 2 ranked teams.
Well, I don't know if Clemson will be ranked by then. They're 25 right now, and these next 2 weeks they've got Charleston Southern and FIU. They'll probably drop out of the top 25. They dropped 16 spots today, and they should, by the way. I'm not disputing the ranking. But, yeah, that ain't going to be game day.
What games are that week? I'm going to check.
I don't know.
Duke and Notre Dame. Duke beats you and takes game day.
Well, if Duke is undefeated and Notre Dame's undefeated, that might be game day. What are the other games that week?
Am I in the right week? I don't see Clemson, Florida State here. So you guys have a bye before then?
No. We got Charleston Southern next week, FAU or FIU the week after, and then Florida State.
I was just a week late. Alabama, Ole Miss. That's probably not getting game day.
Could be if they're both undefeated.
Yeah. Michigan, Rutgers, no. It might still be game day because there aren't very many good games. Oh, Ohio State, Notre Dame. Never mind.
Yeah, that'll probably get game day. Although I'm not convinced Ohio State won't have a loss before then if Saturday's anything to go by.
Well, they play Youngstown State in Western Kentucky, so I don't think they're going to lose.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah.
I do think it's silly, though. And look, to the victor goes the spoils and all that. I get it. Been doing this a long time. But all the Florida State fans in the chat right now who are just guaranteeing a win, and anybody else, too, for that matter, against Clemson in Week 4, based off of one game, Florida State played their ass off and looked really good doing it. And they should be favored in the game. Clemson went out there and looked like the bad news fucking Bears. But I would not just be automatically guaranteeing a win for Florida State in Week 4.
Yeah, prime time in Death Valley isn't anything to play with.
Listen,
Pretty much
I
a
had
lot.
I had some numbnuts Florida State fan tell me in the comments section of some video, he's guaranteeing Florida State beats Miami every year for the next 7 to 10 years.
Well, that's the dumbest thing ever. You can't even guarantee anything in 7 to 10 years. Nothing.
That's the level of intelligence with Florida State fans we're dealing with.
Yeah, here's Uncle Lou with the Keon Coleman out of the portal thing. He wants Dabo to kick players off the team to open up portal spots. JT Brown, thank you for the super chat. Honestly, I think Duke is underrated. They were underrated going into last night's game. Well, they were more prepared. It was clear. Look, they were just better. They were more prepared and better.
Where do we think Mike Elko is going?
Florida.
Florida might be
because
there.
he ain't sticking around Duke for long.
Yeah.
But, I say this all the time in regards to Miami. I mean, it's not just a sure thing when you bring in a new offensive coordinator that things are just going to click right off the bat. And I've seen Miami fire 2 offensive coordinators that way because, it just didn't click right off the bat. So, stupid.
All right, moving on to the Virginia and Tennessee game. I watched a little bit of this. It was on. I was streaming. I was streaming Colorado game during that game. So I kept one eye on that. Virginia might be the worst team in all of the FBS or the Power 5 anyway. Huh?
Their quarterback got hurt.
Quarterback got hurt.
They had a D lineman tear both his patellar tendons celebrating.
Tennessee should have
heard about that.
Look, Tennessee should have beat the absolute bejesus out of them. That game was actually contested until about the end of the third quarter.
Virginia's defense is solid, but that offense is awful.
if you're a Tennessee fan, I will be running around beating your chest about beating Virginia. I mean, they're absolutely terrible.
I mean, their run game looked good, so, I mean, maybe Bobby Hill finally decided that he needed to add a run game to his repertoire, but you still got problems at quarterback with Joe Milton.
Overthrow Joe, bro. That's what they call him. But nonetheless, Virginia's going to end the season. They're lucky to win 2 games, even in the ACC. So,
yeah, James Madison is favored by a touchdown against them.
I don't know. Maybe Tennessee can get it together on offense, and I mean they have a legit running game, but I don't know. The most embarrassing loss of the weekend, maybe in all of college football, NIU. C-Dog knows well about this. Hey, you know what? Forget about SMU, Cal, and Stanford. Maybe the ACC should be out there pursuing NIU because they have the ACC's number.
They'd win the ACC every year.
Yeah, they might win the ACC every year. Took care of business at Boston College. But Boston College was down by 14 to 21 points at some point in that game. It ended up going to overtime. And, of course, Northern Illinois, won that game. Boston College is who we thought they were. I think we all agree that Hafley, he might be the first coach fired in the ACC, and that's not necessarily because how bad Boston College is. It's because the majority of the teams in the ACC either have a tenured head coach like Dabo Swinney or Mac Brown, and the rest of the ACC's got like first and second year head coaches, so they're just not going anywhere.
Is Mac Brown the second longest tenured ACC head coach at this point?
You know what? He might be.
Dave Doran's been there longer.
No, Hafley's going into his third year, I think.
Hafley was the year after Mac. Dave Doran's been at NC State longer.
Oh, Dave Doran, definitely. Yeah, Dave Doran's, he's been there, since the fucking Reagan administration. So.
Well, that coach has been there at Pitt for a while, too.
I picked NIU, too.
Dino Babers, another one. Thank you, Luigi Green. Yeah. Yeah, but
and for all that I want that you say I want to pick on you, C-Dog, I actually on your show, Rec Show, and this show took Georgia Tech in the points, but said you were going to lose. So I don't want to hear that I pick on you.
Very smart, but I was just saying I picked this game right. I picked NIU to win.
Fireball in the chat says jealousy is contagious. I listen to me, Fireball. There isn't a single person on the internet or walking around the face of this planet that's jealous of Tennessee. Not a single person.
Tennessee is basically in the exact same position that Miami's been in for the past 15 years with one 10-win season.
Jealous of Tennessee. God damn. I just when you think you might have heard the dumbest thing that anybody ever typed, it never ceases to amaze me. Every 5 seconds you can look down and somebody types something even dumber than before. All right, so Pitt takes care of business against Wofford. Is there anything to even talk about there? No, I don't think so.
Did any of us watch this game?
No, but Pitt was my dark horse pick to be in the ACC championship. I don't know. I have to see more out of them. Wofford ain't gonna cut it for me, but they did take care of business there. Syracuse beat the toothpaste school.
The run game looked really good, replacing Sean Tucker.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what Syracuse has on store. Every 3 or 4 years, Dino Babers puts together a really good squad that can make some noise. But I don't know. We'll see if it's one of those years or not. Moving on to more interesting things. North Carolina versus South Carolina. Man.
I legitimately feel bad for Spencer Rattler.
I don't.
I do.
You know what? I'm going to actually agree with Slim on this. You would think I wouldn't feel bad for a Gamecock player because I'm a Clemson man. But he's really the only thing they've got going on their entire offense.
I do have to give him credit, though. He took a beating and he played his heart out.
He did. I mean, whatever bad rap that he picked up while he was at Oklahoma, I mean, at least in my eyes, he's made up for it.
Yeah, but Carolina's defensive line looks so good. I've heard they look good in practice, but I wanted to see it in a game, and we saw it. We'll have to see it again. We keep going. Probably not going to get 9 sacks a week, but hopefully we're better than we've been. Our secondary
is
the
still
secondary-
doo-doo.
the secondary had some issues. A lot of it was communication. We have 2 young corners, one that wasn't expected to be playing, but he'll be playing now. So we'll see how they develop along the year. But the defense is definitely better, and Carolina with the defense is very dangerous.
It was hilarious to watch this game unfold. The same way that it was hilarious for most of you who are in the chat to watch Clemson completely buckle against Duke. It was funny to watch South Carolina fold against North. Look, the difference is at least Clemson, with all of their deficiencies and faults, was at least competitive in that game. This game was over from the start. North Carolina completely dominated South Carolina. And the problems that South Carolina has, I'm not sure can be fixed. You know, it wasn't, fumbles between the quarterback and with the handoff with the running back on the goal line. It was just, their offensive line might be the worst offensive line they've had in 20 years. And that's no joke. I'm not trolling. That's just a fact.
I mean, is that worse than Miami's offensive line last year?
Yes.
The worst offensive line
It's pretty
Miami's
bad.
had in the last 5 years.
I don't know, man. South Carolina, they need to figure something out in a hurry. Defense.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of South Carolina fans calling for them to play a bunch of freshmen, which I don't think would fix anything.
Well, my preseason prediction, for what it's worth, every time South Carolina, outside of the Spurrier years, but virtually every other time that they reach that 9-win mark, which is what they reached last year, they follow up with a 6 or 7 win season. It's like clockwork. And
Like NC State.
I think that's what you're going to see again this year. I mean, I'm looking at their schedule. I mean, listen, they're going to get absolutely destroyed by Georgia. They're probably going to lose to Kentucky. They're going to lose to Tennessee. With the loss to North Carolina, that's already 4. I still think Clemson, as bad as they looked last night, is better than them. They're probably going to lose that. That's 5. So one more loss. Find another one on there. There's got to be one on there.
They could lose to Furman this week. Furman's a top 5 team in the country in FCS.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I mean, they didn't. Tennessee didn't look anywhere. Even with their problems, didn't look anywhere near as bad as South Carolina.
And Texas A&M could definitely beat them. I don't know if you said that.
The only good thing I can say about South Carolina, yeah, Texas A&M probably going to beat them too. There's your 6 losses as far as I'm concerned. They might lose 7, but the only team in the East that I think they might have a chance to beat is Florida, and that's just how bad Florida is.
And Vandy.
Oh, man, oh, no. Don't, no, say it ain't so. Say it ain't so.
Everybody has a chance
God damn.
to beat Vandy.
If they don't make a bowl
think they
game,
could beat Kentucky.
I'm not predicting this. I'm saying South Carolina wins probably 7 games, all right? I'm giving the benefit of the doubt as terrible as they look. But let's
Listen,
just...
the slob softball team would have beat Vandy.
Let's just say that South Carolina goes 5-7 and misses a bowl game. Will we see the fire Shane Beamer train come out?
I've seen some fire Shane Beamers already.
Oh, no. Tom DeMay says South Carolina could beat Tennessee. In what universe? No. I'm going to say no on that.
Who's O-line?
I mean, did you see
South
how?
Carolina's Virginia.
I mean, even based off of week 1, North Carolina just ran all over them. Tennessee's probably a better run team than North Carolina, based off of what we've seen in week 1.
Firing Shane Beamer would be so stupid, dude. Like he's hit the over twice now. The first year they weren't expected to do anything. He made a bowl and won it.
Don't remind me.
Second year he had a great year. Freaking shocked the world.
Of course, firing Shane Beamer would be stupid. But look around the country, sir. I mean, stupid decisions as far as firing coaches are made on an annual basis.
South Carolina has always started slow under Beamer, though.
Yeah.
Well, at least the past 2 years.
Yeah, I keep hearing that.
Start.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they're doomed. I mean, and they might not have as good of a year as last year, but like, I don't know, man. People are too quick to call for firings and stuff.
I mean, I know South Carolina fans love to act like they're Alabama.
So I love this comment.
A great year for South Carolina.
By Marie. Thank you for the comment, Marie. She says, not having a generational quarterback is Dabo's problem. I don't know. There's a guy named Kelly Bryant. I don't know if you remember him. Was he a generational quarterback? He took him to the playoffs. Look, yes, having a generational quarterback is nice. But
listen, as good as Deshaun is, I wouldn't call him a generational quarterback.
What?
Trevor Lawrence
yeah.
absolutely was.
He certainly was. But Taj Boyd, was he generational? No, but he was really good. Kelly Bryant, was he generational? Not even close. So it took him to the playoffs. I mean, having a generational quarterback is just that. It's generational. To have two of them in one run is almost unheard of in that short of a span. Did Georgia have a generational quarterback last year? And the year before that? No. Of course not.
Shitty quarterback.
I don't know why people just have selective memory. That the defense of 2018, the year that Clemson won against Alabama 44-16 and went 15-0, they had one of the best defenses in the history of college football. But they get no love because Trevor Lawrence, the true freshman, by the way, was that quarterback. It's a team sport.
And there were times, especially early in the year, he didn't look good.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I got probably half a dozen or more videos defending his statistic line. So, I don't know. I don't buy into that at all. I mean, you can win national championships based on defense and just a decent offense, and the other way around, right? Like in other words, LSU. There you go. The Joe Burrow offense was, I mean, they're absolutely phenomenal. One of the best offenses we've ever seen in our life. Their defense, people forget, for the majority of the year was average at best. I mean, they were giving up a fuck ton of points every game. Now, look, they put it all together once the playoffs came around and the defense played decent and the offense continued to excel. That's the reason they won the national championship in the fashion that they did. But it doesn't need to be look, a generational quarterback doesn't have to happen in order for a team to win a championship. That is not the norm in football.
How many generational quarterbacks has Alabama had?
Shit. None. With Joe Namath, maybe? I don't know.
You can say Bryce Young generational. He went number 1 in the draft.
Yeah, Bryce Young was good.
I mean, he was really good. I'm not sure if he would. I don't know if he would fall under generational. Maybe not.
He's not a generational NFL quarterback or NFL quarterback prospect, but he's a generational college quarterback.
Tua was really, really good in college.
John Doman says, let's see, this is the thing. Stetson won the MVP award in every bowl game he played in. He could win the MVP in every single football game he ever played in. He's not a generational quarterback, sir. I mean,
does that mean he should have got it either? I mean, MVP ends up going a lot of times to a quarterback, period, just like the Heisman. Perfect example.
It's proving my point for me.
I'll fall on this till the day I die, and I don't care that it's an NFL reference. When you're talking about this, football is football. What did Tom Brady do in Super Bowl 55 to be MVP? No, Devin White was the MVP by a long shot, but the quarterback got it. It's the same way in college. The quarterback gets it.
Rick Sanchez says, all we know is what Clemson has proven. No generational quarterback, no titles. Well, I'll point you to 1981, sir. I bet Rick can't even name the quarterback of Clemson's football team in 1981 when they won a title because he wasn't generational.
I know I can't.
And also the idea that this is the most potato argument that I hear from people. If you wouldn't have had great players, you wouldn't have won titles. There isn't a single football team that's ever existed that didn't have great players that didn't win a title. I mean, that is the definition of winning a title. You have great football players. All right, let's move on.
Selective memory. Last year, TCU didn't win at all because Georgia had much better players.
The TCU had the better quarterback. Georgia had the better team.
Yeah.
Old Dominion and Virginia Tech. A big win for the
It's a revenge game.
yeah, revenge game.
Oh, Hokies.
Big win for the Hokies. You know what was funny about this? I mean, not the fact that Virginia Tech beat Old Dominion. That is kind of funny. But the post-game press conference, or not press conference, it was on set. You know, whoever was, I think it was the ACC Network. Yeah. Did you see that, Luke?
Yes, I did.
You had Brent Pry on there. I mean, they were patting this guy's back like he just won a national title for beating Old Dominion. It was really sad.
They had that receiver and his family on set.
Yeah, they brought people's family up there. It was really weird. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
But anyway, nonetheless, Virginia Tech upsets Old Dominion at home. So good for them, I guess.
And I know you brought this up. They've started that whole, and we obviously saw it with Dabo last night. They brought up this whole mid-game interview. Am I the only one looking forward when they stick a camera in Nick Saban's face in the middle of a game he's losing?
No, it's every game now. They're doing that in every game now.
Oh, I
But they
understand
do
that,
them in like the first quarter, so I don't think Coach can be that mad yet.
Shit, it can happen.
It's a weird thing. I don't like it. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I think I know that it's at a commercial break. It's not during the game. I don't care. It's still during the game. That's whatever, a minute or 2 minutes or however long it takes to make the dumbass interview. That the coach should be over with his team trying to figure out how to win a football game, not talking to some idiot on the sideline. It's so stupid. And literally nobody's looking to hear a coach's thoughts in the middle of a football game. Nobody. But, all right, on to another embarrassing loss for the SEC. LSU and Florida State. Florida State came out there and put on an absolute clinic, particularly in the second half, against a big game Brian Kelly and the LSU Tigers.
Really only in the second half. LSU was winning at halftime.
The LSU Tiger fans have been basically non-existent on the internet since that game's happened. Which is par for the course.
Yeah, I've seen a lot less South Carolina people too, but that's just how people react when they lose.
The family is hurting.
Yeah.
There's somebody here that picked Florida State to win this game, both last year and this year. Of course, I
picked them this year.
Of course, I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Conference.
Of course, I have no. Hey, has anybody seen LSU James around anywhere?
No, I think all of his troll accounts have been banned at this point. Although there's one running around that I think might be him that's acting with some sense. So maybe he finally got the message.
FSU is legit. I didn't think that they would have a shot at the ACC title going into
They
the
look a lot
season.
better than I expected.
Yeah, I think they'll probably win the ACC this year.
Well,
FSU versus North Carolina and Charlotte's gonna be great.
You may be right. You may be
Good
right.
luck.
North Carolina has to play Clemson and did you play Florida State? No, you don't play Florida State.
No,
do
we
you?
don't.
You don't play
We
Florida
do
State.
play Duke and NC State. We play.
You got to play Duke? Oh, watch out. They're tough, man.
Duke,
That's a
Clemson,
loss.
NC State all in a row.
Sea-Dog said that's a loss.
That's a loss, bro.
Do you have to play in Durham?
I mentioned
Oh, no.
It's in Chapel Hill.
Trust me, you don't want to go to Durham. Tough to play there.
You don't just
North
walk into
Carolina's never
Wallace
really had a
Wade
problem with.
Stadium and expect to win.
I say right foot creep, walking with that heat. Look around, stay low, make sure they don't see you. Catch some bad, walk down, face them with the heat. The devil under your feet, you're on your way to see him. Stretch me when I can't sleep, bang on when I see you. Play with me, you can't sleep. We got into the seashore. You won't have no case rearrange your shit soon as they face you. You won't have no space, we in your section too.
Man, big game, Brian. The Notre Dame fans were in rare form on Sunday night, weren't they?
Yeah.
Man, oh man, they can't stand that guy.
I need LSU and Notre Dame to play.
I mean,
each
you would
other.
almost think that he wasn't the winningest coach in the history of their football program or something.
You would think.
They can't stand that guy. It's funny.
LSU and Notre Dame need to play each other.
They do.
Yeah, we need to see that. Hopefully they end up in a bowl game together at some point soon before Brian Kelly gets fired.
This year, they're somewhat equal quality teams.
Yeah. Look, I agree with what a lot of people have been saying is that this wasn't a situation where Florida State went there and beat up on an inferior team. LSU's a good team. They're not terrible. So that was a statement win by Florida State.
I don't disagree that it's a statement win. Do I believe that Florida State is that much better than LSU? No, I don't. I mean, everybody knows momentum is a hell of a thing in a game, and you can ride a momentum wave and turn a game ugly.
Man, you're starting to sound like me.
You sound like me talking about Georgia.
You sound like me talking about Duke. I mean, yeah. But no, I actually agree with Slim there. I mean, is LSU really that much worse than Florida State? No, I don't think that they are. But
well, I get it's good troll fodder on the internet, but did anybody actually think that Middle Tennessee was that much better than Miami last year? Well, of course
not. Ben Callen says, get the dude on the phone off the show. Oh, you have to be more specific. I got multiple dudes on the phone.
I think you mean Slim.
Yeah.
Specify.
I'm going to go ahead and say no on that.
Hey,
how about you get on the phone, Ben Callen, and I'll make.
I sent you the
yeah. I'd like to see that.
I sent you the graphic for the week 2 games on your email.
Oh,
is it correct this week?
Did you just?
Probably not.
Did you just
have all 14 teams?
Probably not. Just prepare yourself. It's probably wrong.
Oh no! Did you just send that?
Do we need to fire the
I sent it like a little while ago.
Oh, after the show started.
Super chat. Why was Wake left out of the week 1 games graphic?
Graphics guy.
What?
No,
why was
you
Wake
beat
left?
Elon? Congrats, Mike.
I mean, do we really need to talk about it? I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry, Mike.
God, the Wake Forest disrespect cannot stand, sir.
All right, we're gonna hire a new graphics guy.
Again.
This next guy is gonna be. He's never gonna leave a team out. He's gonna get it right every time.
How many graphics guys have we been through?
First of all,
several.
I'm not firing the graphics guy. He's the only guy I can afford. So.
We're gonna he'll be timely, and he will never mess up the graphics.
Well, so far you're 100% tonight because you didn't get that other one wrong. So there is that.
Well, it's the same wrong graphics from last week.
It was the same one. I just slapped some X's on it, but it was still missing Wake. I didn't bother to put them in.
God, he couldn't even be bothered to correct it.
It's true.
I hope you're paying him less than minimum wage.
Well, yeah, of course I am. I'm making less than minimum wage.
I'm the best freaking graphics guy that no money can buy. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Somebody says that this is a busy background of our ACC show thumbnail.
Well, back to the graphics guy again. There was supposed to be a new background and picture altogether about 2 months ago. I sent my pictures in for him to make it. He still hasn't made it yet.
You know what? It's actually pretty much ready.
Oh,
we should unveil it.
Oh.
He just didn't bother doing it.
Yeah, he just didn't. So he's got it ready. He just didn't bother sending it to me since I'm the one, putting it on my show.
Let me check on it.
Let me check. Yeah, go ahead and send that to me too while you're at it with the second graphic.
All right, we'll unveil it tonight. How about that?
No, and we'll do it next week.
Oh, next week.
Yeah, but go ahead and send it to me though, so I can have it ready.
Right.
Not during the show.
Right.
I think you need to start sending it in 48 hours in advance so it can be proofread.
Well, the problem with the graphics and is that the games have to be played before I can send in the results graphic,
Tom DeMay says this graphic looks like it's out of 1983. That was kind of the point. Actually, it's out of 19. What year was it? So when we made this graphic, he said, what do you want? What do you want the theme to be? I said, make it look like the cover of a Master P album.
Yeah.
That's what I told him.
Reference pictures and everything.
Yeah, and
The
he did
80s were cool. Everybody was driving around in DeLoreans and doing blow.
So it's
Yeah,
intentional.
83 was a cool year.
It's intentional.
83 was a great year. That's when Miami won their first national title.
It was meant to look ridiculous, which it does, and that's why I love it.
It's a freaking awesome graphic.
It is an awesome graphic. I don't care what anybody else thinks.
It's time. It's time to shake it up a little bit, though. We
do have to update.
We
you
got a
guys on
much
the graphic.
Yeah, we got a much more professional one.
I got to see this new one. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's much more professional and nice looking. So.
But anyway, in the meantime, I apologize to the viewers since my graphics guy just decided to send the week 2 upcoming games. I have to do it while it's on screen. I am about to get a new monitor though, so you won't have to suffer through this much longer.
Well, are all the games on the graphic?
We'll find out in a minute.
Yeah,
Probably.
We'll find out in a minute.
just maybe.
We cannot confirm nor deny at this time.
No.
Yeah.
Or probably mostly right.
Probably, hopefully, mostly right.
Yeah. I think you guys will like this new graphic too. It's pretty sweet looking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's pretty sweet. We should do one with our esteemed panel members too.
Just got to do it with our StreamYard profile picture. So we have the crying Jordan and the Buccaneers logo.
Yeah. If you guys send in a picture, I'll make a graphic that includes you guys too. And we'll have to get one from like Jordan and True Seminole and
Oh, I'll dress back up in my Slobs costume and I'll
There you
send
go.
that picture in.
yeah.
That'd be
There
an
you go.
awesome picture.
Yeah.
A lot of ACC games this week. Wow.
Oh man, we better get going.
Yeah, because there's not any like there's not any in conference games, you know.
Yeah.
We might have to skip over some of these in the interest of time.
Well, a lot of them are. Yeah, a lot of them.
A lot of them are easily skippable.
You know,
Yeah.
like Murray State, and Louisville.
Yeah.
This game is actually, I think it's on Thursday, so they got a. Well, I guess
is
I would say short turnaround, but I mean, we did play
Louisville
on
played on
Friday.
Friday.
It's like 6-day turnaround, but yeah, that'll be an easy win for them.
All right, let's move on then to a more interesting game.
We got a Deacon man in the back to preview this game.
All right, hold on. We got Vanderbilt against Wake Forest. Mike Luca has been on the trash Clemson train, and I don't blame him.
It's only because I love you, Pete.
Yeah.
And look, Wake Forest is on this graphic.
I know that was rude, Sea-Dog. I don't know why you did that.
Hey, don't blame me. Blame the freaking the shitty graphics guy. All right.
If I were you, Mike, I'd challenge him to a duel.
It's worth it.
Well, our teams do play here in a couple weeks, so we'll have to see.
That is true. I will say, Pete, I'm obviously half trolling on the Clemson stuff. Half of it is true, but half of it's just to fuck with you, for sure.
Oh, yeah, you're fine, dude. I spend 365 days a year talking shit. If Clemson loses to a team like Duke, I deserve everything I get. Trust me. It is what it is. Okay, Vanderbilt and Wake Forest. All right, let's hear it from Mike first. What do you think, Mike?
First off, it's weird. I live in Central Time, but it's an 11 a.m. Eastern kickoff, which is weird. Just getting that out there. But I don't know. I feel pretty good about it. I mean, it's Vanderbilt, but it's still a Power 5 team. I think we looked solid against Elon. There's a few little things that need to be cleaned up, especially with Mitch. Getting the ball out quicker, not making he threw a really bad, dumb pick six. But, overall, if you would slap Sam Hartman's name on the back of his jersey, I'm not saying he's the same, but the transition was better than I thought. So I'd like to think we'll win by something like 28-17, 28-14 is my prediction.
So you think they'll cover the 10?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
10's a weird number just because it could like easily be a push.
I think it was a couple of weeks ago. I actually picked Vanderbilt to win this game, but after seeing the way they looked in week 1, I'm changing my mind on that. I got the Demon Deacons, but not by a lot. Maybe by like I don't know, less than a touchdown. But give me the Demon Deacons. This is in at Wake Forest, right?
I think it's in Nashville.
No, it's in Wake Forest.
Oh, it is? Okay, my bad.
Yeah.
It's at the bank.
Bank, bro. All right, so we know what Mike's going to pick. What you got, Slim? Who you got in this game?
Well, I'm going to take his word on Wake Forest because obviously I didn't watch the Wake Forest Elon game.
It's okay.
But Vanderbilt looked bad against Hawaii. And, yeah, give me Wake Forest.
Yeah, a couple of Wake picks. Sea-Dog, who you got?
Yeah, give me Wake over the punchline of college football.
Man, so the ACC win streak is going to continue against the almighty SEC. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, the ACC is the better conference.
Yeah, clearly.
That's just
Clearly better teams.
Clearly.
We care more about football.
Better tradition.
Oh,
Yeah.
better traditions.
I don't know what Vanderbilt's going to do whenever they meet up against that ACC speed.
Dude, we've even got
Especially that
more
Wake
fake
Forest
natties than the SEC.
Yeah, Wake Forest got speed.
I wonder if the ACC could get 3 teams in the playoff this year.
I don't know. Hey, Mike, do you think that is it a possibility that at Wake Forest Stadium they're going to have to hold up their scoreboard with a crane or no?
No, actually, to the contrary, Pete, we just got, I think, like 35 million, whole new renovation.
No. Hold on now.
Vanderbilt.
Hold on. Vanderbilt they just put $45 million into renovating their stadium, but they still had to have a crane hold the scoreboard up. So that's not an excuse.
Yeah, but like most people, Wake Forest started at the beginning of the off season, and
so what you're saying?
Waited.
So Wake Forest planned better than what Vanderbilt did.
We know how to sign construction contracts. We're not
Okay,
dumb.
all right, that makes sense. So it looks like we're unanimous here. I don't know, Luke. What do you think?
I caught the first half of the Wake Forest game, or the first 30 minutes until Spectrum and ESPN decided to get into a war. And I thought Mitch Griffiths looked good, so I'll take Wake Forest big.
Man.
Hey, there we go.
They'll win by a million billion for sure.
Wake's going 100-0.
DirecTV's apparently at war with my local CBS, so I didn't get to watch Ohio State or the ukulele.
Hold on, I got
YouTube TV for each.
I got to address this. I have put myself on a sabbatical as far as making bets because I've got so many out, and of course I lost $100 to Carolina Jackpot on last night's game. But this one is almost too enticing not to take. Snake Spence in the chat says Charleston Southern might put up 30. Are you willing to bet on that, sir?
God, I'll take that bet.
29.5.
You name your price. I'll bet you that. Just let me know. Oh, look who we got here. Welcome to the ACC show.
Hey, yeah, real quick. I was doing a watch party during that Clemson Duke game, and I noticed B Bean kept asking, "Could you say that again?" And then he'd run into your stream and be like, "Red Cox says this and that."
Yeah,
he was starting the pot.
Yeah, he was doing his best attempt at trolling both of us, I think.
Well, what do you
was he a double agent?
A double agent might be a good way to put it. Yeah.
Well, no, he's a Florida man, and obviously a terrible judge of character because the little bastard blocked me.
What took him so long?
Hey, you know what? Fuck you, wreck boy.
How many people have blocked you? That has to be like half the internet.
Well, probably about 90%.
Only one I know of.
Probably about 90% of the Miami YouTubers blocked him by now.
Now that actually is a possibility.
Yeah.
I used to troll Miami fans super hard and got blocked by one of those Sunshine Pumpers on the Mark Rogers show.
I think it's great that the Miami YouTubers are thumping their chest proclaiming a victory way prematurely over Clemson. We'll see what happens there. I'm
not
I
saying
never
Miami
did that.
can't win that game, but that would be tough as hell. I ain't even gonna lie.
I
Yeah.
think Tech has a better shot beating Clemson than Miami.
We
They
actually
do.
won our first game.
Yeah, who'd you beat? Ben Roethlisberger don't play for Miami, Ohio no more, man. That ain't no impressive.
No, we had
Blaine
who was that?
Gabbert's little brother.
Yeah, we had Blaine Gabbert's little brother.
Were you
Go,
conflicted,
Jesus.
Slim, though? Because Blaine Gabbert's a Tampa Bay Buccaneers legend.
Not really.
He did win a Super Bowl there. It was all him, not Tom Brady at all.
There was nothing to do with Tom. It was all Blaine Gabbert.
Yeah.
Sorry, Pete. I didn't mean to derail y'all here.
No, we're fine. We'll move on. We got to get through these games here before 9 o'clock, if that's at all possible. But we'll skip over the next one because Boston College.
They might actually lose.
Yeah,
this
is going to be a close game.
At this point, I'm just going to pick Boston College to lose every game until they don't. So, yeah.
I wouldn't pick them to lose a Holy Cross.
This is an interesting one, though.
Northern Illinois.
Hey, but you know what? You know who can't beat Holy Cross? UGA. Winless all time.
Oh, no. Oh,
An
no.
awesome stat. Dying, right? Oh my God! Dying, right? Oh my God! Dying, right? Oh my God!
That's a pitiful stat there.
Oh my God!
Let's move on to the next one, though. Purdue and Virginia Tech, two teams with low expectations coming into this season. Virginia Tech, obviously, with a big win over Old Dominion.
Hey, but Purdue had an embarrassing loss, though.
They
Yeah.
lost to Fresno State.
So this is interesting. This game is, I'm assuming that the graphics man got this right. This is in Blacksburg?
It might be a neutral site. I don't know.
Why would the graphics have you wrong?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just asking.
The home team goes on the right.
All right. So Virginia Tech undefeated at home so far this season. There's no reason for me to believe they won't carry on that tradition into this week against a dilapidated Purdue team. You know what? This is. I honestly have no idea who's going to win this fucking game. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Virginia Tech's a
I mean,
3-point
flip a
favorite.
coin, huh?
Yeah. Virginia Tech's a 3-point favorite.
Are they really? Wow, they're favored in a football game this year.
Yeah.
I'm going
I mean,
with
3
Vegas,
points
baby.
is basically a coin flip. I mean,
Yeah, that would basically. What would that be? Even on a neutral site because Virginia Tech's at home.
Man,
Yeah. If it's at home, yeah.
Gobble, gobble. Give me them turkeys in this game.
Yeah, they play in a superior conference. You have to pick Virginia Tech.
that is true. The ACC is superior right now, so I would have to give it to Virginia Tech. But you know what? Look, man, I don't trust Virginia Tech enough. I could trust them as far as I could throw them.
Listen,
But-
too much Enter Sandman for a Boilermaker. Fuck that
So
is.
according to Slim Shady Canes, the intro music is the difference in this game. He's taking Virginia Tech.
Yep.
Is this game at night?
Why would it be?
Oh no, it's at noon. I might have to pick Purdue.
why would it be?
Anyway, why would they put Virginia Tech and Purdue on at night?
Time, baby.
I mean, they put Virginia Tech versus Old Dominion on prime time.
On a channel that nobody watched.
They have this on ESPN too.
Okay, buddy.
Who the hell was that?
Yeah,
That
what?
was my wife, sorry.
Oh, tell her we said hello.
The panel says hello.
She said,
Was she talking to you, C-Dog? Hey, buddy.
No, she's talking to our dog.
Well, no,
okay.
you heard the response she gave Sea-Dog. Yeah.
She's thrilled.
All right. Moving on. This actually is an interesting game. Now, look, I think Notre Dame is going to go in there and probably make a fool out of NC State. But the game
Notre
is
Dame.
is this what they call the kids these days call a trap game for the Irish?
Indeed.
Who do they
Indeed.
play next week?
Who? Notre Dame?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's a good question.
it's a trap game. They have to play a good team next.
Do
week.
they play Ohio State next week, or is that the week after?
No, it's the week after.
No.
Okay.
They play Central Michigan. What are you talking about, a
No,
trap
it's
game?
not a trap game.
So Central Michigan's a trap game for Notre Dame then.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they play Ohio State after Central Michigan.
So after they batter and bloody NC State.
Hold on. Is it not possible to have two trap games in a row?
It is. He's going to lose to both Dave.
But why would they be looking ahead of NC State to play Central Michigan?
Because they're looking ahead to Ohio State 2 weeks later. Look, they're playing 4D chess, Luke. Stop questioning me.
No, actually, you can make the argument. He's looking ahead of NC State for the Fighting Jim McElwains.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I forgot about that. Or as Florida State fans say, they're playing 3D chess, which is just regular chess.
Yeah.
Well, as much as I would love to see the ACC continue their dominance over college football in 2023, I think that Notre Dame, who's not an ACC team, as much as they like to prance around and pretend like they are and get votes, Notre Dame by 2 touchdowns over the Fighting Dave Dorns.
Well, can we call them a half a ACC team?
Huh?
Yeah, I think Notre Dame rolls.
Sam Hartman's like the all-time leading ACC touchdown passer. Give me Notre Dame.
I mean, he also played in the ACC for like 7 years.
Well, I'm like a scorn lover in this situation, so give me the Wolfpack. Fuck Notre Dame. Fuck Sam Hartman.
Ew.
I agree. I'd much rather NC State win, but I just don't think so.
Let's go Irish.
No,
Yeah, go Irish.
NC State.
I'm going with the Demon Deacon on the panel here. Fuck Notre Dame. Give me Dave Dorn. 'Cause I got nothing against him.
Huh.
Brandon Armstrong threw for 150 yards against UConn. Give me Notre Dame.
Dave Dorn at NC State this year, borderline bowl team. It is what it is. And they're going to get absolutely humiliated by Sam Hartman and Marcus Freeman this Saturday. So book it. Write it down.
Mike Luca's energy is a little infectious, so I'm going with him.
All right. We're going to skip over this one, even though, I mean, just call out your pick on this one. But
this might be one of the closest games of the week.
In the interest of time, let's just go ahead and
I think Virginia's an underdog in this game.
They are. They're a touchdown underdog.
James Madison University against Virginia. I'm going to go ahead and pick James Madison in this. I'm sorry.
Me too.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm taking James Madison.
Give me Wahoo.
James Madison might be the best team in the state of Virginia, which is pretty fucking sad, but it's true.
Wow.
Is what it is.
All right, moving on. Georgia, go ahead, take this one off, Rec Talk. Lead off, buddy.
Tech. There's not much to talk about here. Georgia Tech.
Yeah, we'll beat them by 100.
And South Carolina State's a bad FCS team, too. So
Yeah, I'm going to take Georgia Tech in this one as well.
They got smacked around by Jackson State.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can probably skip over the next one, too.
Yeah, we'll skip over the next one. This one, I mean,
the next
look,
one.
The trolls are out at night. I get you. But the idea that Clemson's going to struggle with Charleston Southern is just stupid. So we'll move over that one. Syracuse, and who is that?
Western Michigan.
Western Michigan.
I'm tempted to say Western Michigan, but Syracuse.
They did beat Pittsburgh the year Pitt won the ACC championship.
Yeah. Which was hilarious.
Give me the fruit.
Yeah. My daughter loves oranges. Give me Syracuse.
I just want to point something out real quick. We have a Stanford fan in the, comment section of the ACC shit now. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, welcome aboard. Welcome to the ACC.
Welcome to the club. Welcome to the premier conference.
You're home. You're home, buddy.
We come for it all here, baby.
Hey, welcome to the ACC, Stanford, man, and thanks for nothing, by the way, in advance.
We're going to start putting Stanford on the ACC show graphics.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
Well, yeah, next year we will.
Yeah,
we're going to make the font smaller.
That is fixing to give us 3 more teams for Sea-Dog to leave off the schedule.
Yeah.
Is Sea-Dog going to conveniently forget to put Stanford, Cal, and SMU on the graphics next year, week 1?
I mean,
yes.
Would anyone notice?
They should have to. You have to win an ACC game before you get on the graphic.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, SMU might be the best football program that's out of the 3.
That might be true.
I agree.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so I have Syracuse as well. So moving on, this is one of the biggest games of the week, right? Outside of Alabama and Texas, outside of What's the other one I'm thinking of? There's 3 of them.
Wake Vandy.
No.
Yeah. NC State, Notre Dame.
No, there's 3 big games this week. I can't remember who the other one is now. Anyway, this is one of them.
Alabama, Texas.
Alabama, Texas, yeah. Who am I thinking? Who am I forgetting
I'm not
about?
trolling. Tulane, Ole Miss is a pretty big game.
No, there's another one. Anyway, whatever. Texas A&M at Miami. Last year, this game was close. What was that? A 2-point game, Slim?
Actually, no. It was an 8-point game because me and Uncle Lou had a bet on it. And we pushed.
Oh, where am I getting 2 points from? Anyway, the game was close, right? It wasn't a blowout by any means. Texas A&M looked good. A&M looked good this past week against a nobody, which is all you can do. Miami looked good against a nobody. That's what I'm going to call them. The Miami of North is a nobody, no matter how much their quarterback likes to come on the internet or on press conferences and claim that they're the real Miami, which it is what it is. I'm taking Miami in a close one here, only because it's in Miami. And also just because I don't trust A&M and Jimbo Fisher. Now, look, they got a new offensive coordinator in Bobby Petrino. All the reports is that Jimbo has handed the keys over to Petrino. I'm not 100% sure about that yet. But give me Miami in a close one here. Here's something that is concerning, though, Slim. There was a Miami fan on Twitter earlier today that posted a screenshot. I don't know if it was from StubHub or whatever, one of these ticket sale companies. And like only 20% of the tickets have been sold to that game for a home game.
I doubt that. Normally,
it was a Miami fan that posted it. It wasn't a troll job.
I don't know.
I'm just telling you.
I would tell you.
So are you? So
that's why I'm going with A&M. If it was at A&M, I'd probably pick Miami because they would be playing in a real college experience. They might get excited, but it's at Miami. I'm going A&M.
Well, let me tell you, just like Bobby Petrino wrecked that motorcycle, he's going to wreck the Miami defense. Give me the Aggies.
Oh man, look at this.
Yeah, I'm going to take Texas A&M too.
Oh, look at this.
I'm going to take the team that plays in the better conference in the underachiever bowl.
Oh, so you're taking Miami? All right.
Yeah.
Good. Wow. So I think we're tied here. We got 3-3. That game should be good. I'm hoping for a good one anyway. You know, I hope.
I think it'll be good
as well.
Yeah. What is this? Oh my God! Look at this here. App State in North Carolina. Was this a home and home series? So you played at App State last year, right?
It was a 2 home, 1 away series.
2 home, 1 away series.
We played at home in 19 and lost, then beat them on the road last year.
Now look, App State, a very good team for the conference they play in and whatnot, but they lose a lot coming into the season. And I think North Carolina is much improved just based on what I've seen so far. I mean, they might prove me wrong this weekend. I don't know. But they look much better on defense than they did last year. I still believe, I mean, although it's a close run right now between Drake May and Jordan Travis in the ACC, the 2 best quarterbacks in the ACC, in my opinion. I'm going to take North Carolina, and I'm not just going to take North Carolina here. I think they beat them convincingly, and by convincingly, I mean around 2 touchdowns or more. So give me the Tar Heels in this one.
What's the line on this game?
18.
Oh, yeah. Give me App State in the points.
It opened at 13.5 and went up to 18.5, then went back down to 18.
I want to troll Luke, but UNC wins big, in my opinion.
I see a lot of people saying this is a trap game. If there's any school that is not going to get trapped by App State, it's North Carolina.
Not so fast, my friend. I'll troll Luke. App State's mascot is Youssef, and that's a hell of a mascot. Give me App State.
Ramesses clears.
Hey, Jonathan, I'm reading the chat, buddy. Yeah, that was the game I was talking about, is Nebraska and Colorado. And nobody thought it was a big game before the season, but it is now. That's why I forgot. But there you go.
I don't think it's a big game.
I mean, there's going to be a lot of views. I'm going to watch it.
I'm going to watch.
So
I bet you Colorado struggles.
I think every Colorado game is going to get a lot of views just because Deion's there, whether they're good or not.
Well, it looks like they're good right now, so they're going to get more.
And their offense is good, but okay, TCU's defense was bad last year.
We'll see if there was a big overreaction. I mean, Colorado put on a fucking show last week. Nobody can deny that, right? Can they repeat that back to back? We'll see. If they can, then my opinion of Colorado will change drastically. Not that Nebraska's great or some kind of world beaters, but even so, if they could put on the same kind of performance they did last week back to back would be impressive. So.
Okay,
I was concerned at how much the same Jeff Sims looked. Like he turned it over as many touchdowns as he had.
Well, here's my thing. If it's the same Nebraska that we've now seen going back to Scott Frost and even so far this year, and they lose the game by less than a touchdown, would anybody be shocked?
Well, it's not just the same Nebraska. It's the same Georgia Tech quarterback that struggled. So I would think Colorado wins that game.
Well, is this a hot take? I mean, that Nebraska-Minnesota game, maybe they both just suck, and that will come to fruition. But I don't think Nebraska looked bad.
Well, no. So here, I'll push back on this, and I'll be the first to say that I thought Colorado was not going to be good this year. You might be able to claim at the end of the season that their opponent last week ends up not being good, but I still watched the game. Colorado played well. I don't care who the opponent was. So now the question is, can they consistently do that? I'm not sold on that yet, though.
I think they're against a much better defense this week.
True.
Much better.
Agree with that.
Anyway, we're talking about Colorado now. So who were we? Did anybody not pick the App State North Carolina game?
I didn't.
All right, Sea-Dog, who you got?
I don't know.
Well, just pick, flip a coin or something. We got to move on to the next game.
I suppose I'll pick North Carolina.
Come on, man.
Oh man, he said that so reluctantly.
I would never choose against a team just to troll.
Oh yeah, right.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
That's like half of what you do on here.
I'm so above that. So.
That's like 3/4 of what he does.
I know.
Really, I'm picking North Carolina. I picked Pitt to win some games this year. Like, I'm reformed, okay?
Whatever.
Wow.
All right, so the possibly the best team in the ACC, the almighty Duke Blue Devils.
How funny would it be if Duke went out and lost to Lafayette?
Well, it wouldn't be funny for me, sir, at all.
Hangover game. Crazier things have happened. Hangover game.
Yeah, hangover. Oh, man. I'm going to take the Devils here. I mean, is anybody picking otherwise? I mean, seriously?
No.
All right. Let's move on then. This is an interesting game here. Cincinnati and Pitt. Obviously, the departure.
It's not really that interesting anymore. Cincinnati kind of fell off.
Well, all right. I mean, I'm obviously taking Pitt here. Pitt is my dark horse to compete for the ACC championship, to make it to the ACC championship, rather. So I'm clearly taking Pitt. I picked them in our preseason game-by-game predictions, and I'm not going to change that now. I think Pitt wins actually pretty convincingly here.
I'll take Cincinnati just to be contrarian.
I think Pitt wins. I don't think Cincinnati's that good anymore.
Pittsburgh.
Panthers.
All right. Moving on for the last game, but not least, Florida State. And who is that?
And Southern Miss to the dog on top.
Oh, yeah. Southern Miss to the dog on top. Obviously, I'm picking Florida State here.
And Frank Gore Jr. is going to run all over Florida State for his dad.
Now, how funny would it be if they claimed he was going to do it last year against Miami, but he actually ends up doing it against Florida State?
I'm obviously picking Florida State, but all kidding aside, I wouldn't be shocked if they rode the struggle bus a little bit.
And
yeah.
Listen, I mean, for all the trash talk about Frank Gore Jr., didn't he end the season with like 1,200 yards last year? He's not.
Yeah, he's really good.
Is it at Southern Miss?
No, it's in Florida State.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think this game won't be close. It'll probably be over by halftime. But, yeah, it would be funny if they struggled. But did we pick anybody in the ACC to lose out of conference this week? Well, yeah, we picked
Virginia and Miami.
Well, technically.
We ended up with a tie at Miami.
And NC State.
NC State, technically. Yeah.
Well,
I think we had NC State.
Boston College.
You said Boston College, Steve?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
They're going to lose to Holy Cross.
Well, there you have it, folks.
1-11.
Our picks for week 2 games in the ACC. How did we do? Let me pull the graphic up from last week and see, like, as a panel, how we did. I know we all had individual picks, but
Who did we pick? Do we have that written down?
I know I got the Clemson game wrong. I got the Florida State game wrong.
I got the Georgia Tech game wrong. I got the Clemson game wrong. And I think that's it.
I got the Georgia Tech game exactly right, but all I do is pick on C.
I think the only game I got wrong, actually, was Clemson.
Well, I got Boston College wrong.
I actually did pick. Let's see here. I think didn't I pick NIU to beat BC? I think I might have.
I think we all picked Boston College except C-Dog.
Did we? All right, I might have got those 2 wrong then, but the rest of them I got right.
I wasn't here for the Boston College show, so I didn't pick that one.
I said Clemson Duke. The score would be 28-14. I just had the wrong team winning. It was 28-7.
Yeah. Anyway, so there you go. There you have it, everybody. There's our recap from week 1 and our week 2 picks. And anybody who knows anything about the ACC show, we know exactly what we're talking about.
If you follow our picks, you will win money. You will.
Yeah, I won't say that much.
Yeah. This is not gambling.
Yeah, no. Coming from somebody who just sent $100 to a Carolina fan, I'm not going to go ahead and say that now. South Carolina fan, rather, not a Carolina fan. But anyway, that's going to do it for tonight, guys. Thank you for joining us. Any last words from the Peanut Gallery panel, the ACC panel?
Yeah, since Clemson wants in the SEC, can we count that an ACC win and an SEC loss?
That's an interesting take. I'm going to have to say no. I don't think so yet.
Okay.
Because the only reason it gets a little confusing every week if that's an SEC loss and an ACC loss, or an SEC win and an ACC win. Because what you're going to do, once Clemson does win 10 games at the end of the season, and everybody has to cry into their Cheerios, then that's 10 wins for the SEC under your.
Well, we'll just have the wins count for the ACC and the losses count for the SEC.
Oh, all right.
That seems fair to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you, Mike, for coming on. I appreciate your input on this, and appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, for sure. See y'all later.
See you later, Mike. All right, Slim, as usual, amazing and fantastic. Be careful out there on them streets.
I was trying.
All right. I'll see you soon, buddy.
See ya.
All right, Sea-Dog.
Hey, Pete, before we go, I
Yes.
want to show you something that I don't think you'll like.
Uh-oh. Show it to me.
Yeah, put it on the screen.
I
here.
did.
So, check it out. It's a squirrel.
What are you doing with wild animals in your house, dude? Is that thing better be half dying?
It is.
Oh, all right. Well, I'll excuse that.
I found the poor thing. We took down some trees at the house we just bought, and it was like laying on the ground, and we looked it up. We didn't just go willy-nilly grabbing it or whatever.
You didn't just go steal a squirrel off the side of a tree and steal it from its mother?
No, it was like on the ground, and it was thirsty and hungry, so it said that you can just feed it and then let it go.
So are you like feeding that thing with like a baby bottle?
Yeah, I have like a little syringe, and he eats it, and like
Yeah.
and then you just hold it until he's old enough to eat nuts or something, and then you let him go. I'm gonna keep him as a pet.
I almost had a joke for that, but it's not appropriate.
I'm not one of those people.
So how do you know when it's old enough to eat nuts?
Well, if you look it up, you can look up like the life cycle for squirrels.
Well, first of all, now you got me fascinated. I got to end the show, but so how do you know how old that thing is?
Well, if you look it up, it'll describe kind of its life cycle, and based on the description, I think it's about 5 weeks old because it's got little teeth coming in.
Okay.
And that's when they say it's 5 weeks old. So, just it says to give them like milk and stuff, and then whenever whenever it gets a little bit older, it can eat nuts, and then you can like let it go, and he'll be chill.
So how long are we looking at? What's the time frame? Like another 2 weeks,
know.
3 weeks, 6 weeks, or
something like that? Yeah.
Okay.
So it grows up, and then you can.
Did you name it?
No.
Are you going to name it?
I've been calling him Squirrely. That's
a name.
Yeah.
So you did name it.
I suppose. But they say if you do this, then they'll like hang around your house and stuff, and they'll come to you, and we'll probably put out food for them and stuff.
What about your? I know you have cats.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Cats, so they probably won't have access to eating Squirrely.
I was gonna say, like, you might come home like one day and Squirrely is nothing but a pile of fur, and
that would suck. I'm gonna try to keep that from happening, but my cats are
Squirrely.
indoors, so unless Squirrely comes to my house, he'll be okay. But he was covered in like flies, which they said that it said online that probably means that it was like abandoned, And so we got the eggs off of him, and he's in good spirits.
You know how I feel about bringing wild animals into your home, but look, if you're rescuing the thing and then you're planning on letting it go and not keeping it as a pet, that's
I'm not
fine.
gonna keep a dang squirrel as a pet. My cats would eat it. And
all right.
I mean, squirrels aren't pets, so
right.
I'm not stupid, but
well, there you go, everybody. Squirrely. All right, Sea Dog, man. Thanks for coming on. Great show tonight. Hopefully, both of our teams can bounce back in a big way from their very disappointing Week 1 losses.
Yeah.
And we can come on here next week and brag about beating nobody teams.
Right.
So,
yeah.
all right.
Good luck to Clemson.
Yeah. You too. All right, man. Love you. Talk to you soon.
Okay. See you.
Later. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for me. You're all amazing and fantastic. Another awesome ACC show. Shout out to all the people in the chat. Shout out to all the people that supported the show. Shout out to all the people that contributed to the show, the panel members, everything, yada, yada, yada. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. for the midday show. Should be a lot of fun. I'm going to probably end up pulling up the chat section or the comment section, rather, from the State of the Fan Address video I did today and respond to some of that. It's absolute gold. So anyway, everybody have a great night. Have a safe night. I'll see you guys soon. Your boy is checking out.